So all apps in the same organization on fly.io belong to their own virtual private network. And there are two different ways that you can connect to one of these apps, either from outside that private network or from inside the network. You can decide which network pathway you want requests to take by using one of three unique addresses provided by Fly. By the end of this video, you will have a clear understanding of when to use which. Okay, so when I said that you could either access an application from outside your virtual private network or from inside it, well, that was actually a little simplistic. It would be more accurate to say that you can connect to an application through the Fly Proxy or from inside your virtual private network. The Fly Proxy handles load balancing, and it also is responsible for auto-starting and stopping machines based on throughput. When a request from the internet hits a public Fly application, like a web server, it goes through the Fly Proxy. You can also route traffic through the proxy to private applications, but more on that later. So understanding this, how do each of those special domains route requests differently? Well, let's start with fly.dev. This one's pretty straightforward. It's the domain you get for free whenever you deploy an app on Fly. Just like I described before, requests to this domain will go through the Fly proxy to a public application. If you have a custom domain, it would be routed the same way. Now, what about .internal? If you tried to visit your app.internal in your web browser, it wouldn't work. But if the request was made from another Fly app in your organization, it would, because it'd be communicating directly over the Fly private network. Where fly.dev will point to the IPs of your application, internal addresses will point to the IPs of your machines. And as such, internal requests do not go through the Fly proxy. The perks of using internal is that there's not just one internal address, there's like a dozen that will route you to either a subset or specific machines. For example, if you wanted to route to machines in a specific region, you could use region.myapp.internal. Or if you wanted to route to machines running a specific process, you could do name of the process.process.app.internal. There's also domains that point to TXT records, which can give you information like, hey, what regions does this app live in? Or, hey, give me all the apps for the current organization. The possibilities for how you can leverage internal domains are limitless, so I highly recommend you check out the full list linked down below. Okay, so we've learned how to send requests from the outside world through the Fly proxy and from inside the Fly private network. Well, what else is there? Well, let's say you have an AI model that's hosted on one app and you don't want that accessible to the public internet. In fact, you only want your web server to be able to talk to it. Okay, well, you could make that AI app private and then use the internal domain provided. Oh, except you'd really like those machines to be able to scale down to 0 when not in use. And that is a feature managed by the Fly proxy, which internal domains don't go through. So what's a girl to do? Enter flycast. Requests to flycast domains first get sent through the Fly proxy and then to the organization's private network. Now, flycast domains do require one extra step in that you need to allocate a private IPv6 address. And you can do this by running fly IPs allocate v6 -- private. Now, while flycast's address don't work over the public internet, this doesn't mean that allocating a private IPv6 makes your app private. You need to make sure that you don't have any public IPs on your app. So you can check this by running fly IPs list, and if there's any public IPs, you can remove them with fly IPs release. Alternatively, if you are starting from scratch, you can launch your app with fly launch -- flycast. This will launch your app with only a private IPv6 address, making it inaccessible to the public internet. So to sum it up, when you want to make certain requests private, but you still want to take advantage of the Fly proxy, Flycast is a great option. One thing we hear over and over again about why developers love fly.io is the level of control you have over how to organize your infrastructure. There is so much you can do by leveraging these unique domains, especially internal and Flycast, and now you are fully equipped to use them to your advantage. If you'd like to learn more, we have so many articles on this in our documentation. Be sure to check out fly.io/docs/networking. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.